And what's happening, guys? Welcome along to another episode of 420 News. Hope everybody's good out there. Oh, excuse me. Guys, where's the comments? Come on, where's everybody's hello? Hopefully I'm not the only one who's I'm actually on time today. There we go. I seen the hellos getting in there. See Peter Kelly out there. Let's get disobedient. Yes. What else is there? Decav. Good morning. Good evening for us here almost. But maybe you're in a different part of the world, or you're just after getting out of bed. Either way, top of the morning to you. On yours out there as well. Happy Highway Friday. You on the road again? Is it the long walk home? I was getting you at that time, aren't I, Fudge? I see Russell's in the audience as well, and Amy Cody's joining in there as well, saying hi to everybody. And Claude Evelyn listening in from work. Miss Fudge. Ah, yes, the Fudge, the happy couple. Mr. and Mrs. Fudge. Lovely. Where's my grinder after this parent? Oh, there it is. I see Hype is out there as well, and DB Woodcraft. Welcome, guys. Welcome, everybody. Pull on up a chair. Roll on up a spliff if you haven't already got one, as it is now 4:22. So it's your second opportunity to hit 420. In case you missed the first one, always remember 422 is 422. Who's out there? Soundwave, Shadlow, home, just home from Amsterdam. It was great not to feel like a criminal for a few days. Amazing to talk to the police there that are not backwards. Yeah, it is. It is a bit of a kind of a crazy shift when you go over to Amsterdam and you're able to actually just walk into somewhere, buy cannabis, sit down and roll up. In fact, you've been more worried about having your tobacco on the table inside in the coffee shops over there than you do about your cannabis, because they'll tell you, like, you can't smoke inside with tobacco. But yeah, cannabis is good. All good with the old cannabis. And yes, I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow as well. See my sure saying that there. Alright, just packing up an old bowl of civil disobedience here. Ooh, also got a very nice treat from a buddy last night for my assistance. Excuse me. Went out and supported a buddy last night. Just the half his time in, as some people call it, trim jail. But got this lovely scissor hash. I don't know if you can kind of see that there, but it's ooh-wee, potent old stuff. So this is resin that gathers up on a scissors after you do a little bit of trimming. So my buddy was kind enough to let me take away what gathered on my scissors. Seemed only fair. So we'll pack it into a bowl. This stuff is she's as smoky as a bit of hash, but it's so much more potent just in terms of flavor and smell inside of there. Oh, and as I said, this was only gathered last night. It's nice and dried now and all. It dries out rather quickly. Being like resin, it's kind of stuck together like a bit of hash, really. I say green tea is well used to the old scissor hash. Green tea saying, I have a Pineapple Express drying out right now. I'm so excited to try it. Nice. Pineapple Express. My buddy done that before, actually. Geez, about fucking eight, maybe 9 years ago. Kind of when the movie was out at the time. It was like, yeah, I got that Pineapple Express, and I believe it was an autoflower from Barney's Seeds, I think is who done it, if memory serves correct. But it was tasty enough. But in fairness, he done blue cheese at the same time, and that blue cheese just that was something else altogether. The Pineapple Express, it was an autoflower, so unfortunately it just didn't perform as good as these others because he grew it alongside photoperiod plants. So he didn't know that he should have left his autoflower under kind of 18 hours of light in order to maximize its potential. He had it under 12, so it was kind of there was a bit of a setback there in the yield, I suppose, and the quality of the buds as well. Who else out there? Electric Sense was in Utrecht a couple of months ago. A beautiful city, more like a town in fact, but the green is lovely, yes. I think, like, no matter where you get your green, as long as it was like grown with love and care, it's always going to be lovely. It's hard to mess up that plant, really. What else is out there? Slimmer Slime, Soundwave, welcome back. Welcome back to this back to the shithole. What else out there? Green tea, yes. I have a wee silicon jar for collecting scissor hash and everything. Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, when I get it off him, normally it just goes up above the fridge, and by the next morning it's gone. Never really lasts that long. It's just such a pleasure to have it though. When you have it, it's just, oh my goodness, the flavors that come off it. Facebook notifications haven't come through. Damn you, Facebook. Notify people when I go live, please. Come on, like, in fairness. Guys, if you haven't done so already as well, just make sure you get over to that Facebook thing, and like you have to go into the Facebook page and you have to like hit all notifications. So make sure you've done that if you want to make sure you get all the notifications. Possibly we already have, and they just don't want me to get my message out there because it's too powerful. Oh, excuse me, guys. Right, we have a bit of news for you today, as we do all the time on the 420 news. But before we get stuck into it, guys, a reminder: tomorrow, major protest, cannabis reform, Ireland. Yes, this is tomorrow, the Garden of Remembrance at 2 p.m. So I really do hope to see you there, guys. And just to show you a little video that the guys have, the major group. I'll pop them up on the screen there now. You should see that. There you go. That's their Facebook page, guys. Get over there. Give them a follow on Facebook if you're over on Facebook. They have up a nice poster earlier, actually, from Miriam Haskin. I actually took a screenshot of that story, and I was to give it a reshare. But they have a video up there for the protest tomorrow. So I'm going to play that there now for you. 1 second. Turn the sound on. Oh, wait. I think they have music to this. I'll get pulled. Yeah. I'll turn off their music. Unfortunately. I'll get pulled over the music, or fucking YouTube will be banning me and shit. Maybe it's not fucking copyrighted. Feck it. It's nice music. There we go. A load of cheering in the background, so hopefully the algorithms won't pick up on it. Boom, so that's their little video that they put together, showcasing some of the protests that we held there in July, only just gone. So hopefully, guys, you get up there this Saturday, and we can have a repeat of last July's protest, where we had over 1,000 people out in attendance. And in fact, let's go and smash that number. Like, let's go even further. Look at these silly looking cops on that screen. What's that say? Stopped for walking around. Yeah, all right. COVID stuff. But this Saturday, guys, tomorrow, like less than 24 hours, this time tomorrow, we will be all smoking on up outside of Doyle Lahren in Ireland, because we're going to march from the Garden of Remembrance all the ways over to the Doyle Lahren. So boom. Guys, 1 second there now. I actually will I? Feck it, it seems like it's all going well. I just realised that I'm actually on the Wi-Fi, and I never connected up my Ethernet cable. But fingers crossed, guys, we get a clean stream today, and internet doesn't go against me. Guys, yesterday, or not yesterday, on Wednesday, my apologies for not coming out with a proper 420 news, but I was in the city highlighting the harms caused by prohibition of cannabis. Sorry, there's those cops again. Yeah, I went in there and I left a plant inside in Cork City to highlight the failures caused, or the failures of prohibition. I'm just going to get up a photo there now for you as well. 1 second. There we go. There it is. I'll just bring it up on Chrome, feck it. There we go. So this was myself in the city there yesterday. So or on Wednesday. On Wednesday, I went in. I brought that fine-looking male cannabis plant in there with me, gifted to me by a supporter of the campaign, and I highlighted the failures of prohibition by engaging with the members of the public there on the day. And I had a list of a lot of scientifically backed facts about the benefits of the cannabis plant in terms of benefits to the environment, benefits of its use as a food source, and then benefits of its use as a medicine also. It was maybe about a 10 to 15 minute speech I gave there, completely unannounced, just went down there. There was about maybe 30 to 50 people there stopped listening. There was Costa Coffee, there was Hillbillies, and there's a bus stop there. And naturally, these places would have a bit of a crowd there anyway. But as people were walking by, they were stopping and they stayed and they listened for the whole duration of it. In fairness, I actually had a nice bit of a crowd there by the end. As I say, close to 50 people there at the end of it. So it was well worthwhile, and I even received a round of applause and all at the end of it, which was really that made me really happy. Anyway, they get that round of applause because they equally could have just been like, "Ah, oh, shut up, you druggie, go on away, you should be criminalised, you should be locked up." Didn't get none of that negative. It was a round of applause. In fact, people came over and they're like, "Yeah, I've seen your stuff before. Well done, keep it up. This law's backwards. They don't support it." That there was no naysayers in there yesterday at all. None. Guys, we're on the right side here. The government are out of touch with the people. This prohibition has got to change. So make sure you're up there tomorrow, and stand up and be counted. Or forever, not be counted and continue to be oppressed by this prohibition of cannabis. Liam McGorman, you'd wish this prohibition would end, Martin. Proper shops, coffee shops, yeah, regulated market. 100%, yeah, definitely. And in saying that, that's actually a part of one of the news headlines there. So we'll get to that there in a bit about a proper regulated market. I just also want to give a shout out there. Nice one, guys, for sharing the stream. Hype, legend. Hype is always getting in some epic support there to the show. You're a legend, Hype. Thanks very much, pal. He says, well done yesterday and good luck tomorrow. Thanks very much, pal. Support is always well received. Ferg also getting in a bit of support there as well earlier. So much appreciated there as well, Ferg. Really do appreciate it, guys, when you get behind the show like that. There is small costs associated with running this, but in fairness, guys, you've been donating more than enough there to cover those costs, and it's allowing me to keep a bit of a fund going there so we can continue to fight this cannabis prohibition and hopefully get a roof over our heads here in Cork very soon. So we drive on, guys. Actually, before we drive on, I fucking packed up a bowl there, guys. Someone remind me about this stuff. Like, I'm forever packing bowls up and then running away doing the news and forgetting to hit that. Oh yes, that's a well-packed bowl as well. In fairness, I think I'm going to hydrate before I blaze this one up. Yeah, I see that as well. Electric Sense. There's a Yellow Vest protest going on in Dublin tomorrow, but we are aware of that. We weren't aware of it when we picked a date, but look, we've made the proper arrangements to ensure that we won't be bumping into any other protests while we march from the Garden of Remembrance over to Doyle Lahren. So the organisers are very well aware of it, and they have the route well thought out. There was a lot of discussion there around what route to take, so it's very well thought out. And once you show up there tomorrow, guys, everything else is going to be taken care of. You just show up, stand up, and be counted. That's all we ask of you, really. Like, come on, it couldn't get any easier for you guys. If you want to see cannabis prohibition ended, tomorrow's your chance to get out and show your support for that. Yeah, I see lots of comments coming in there anyway, guys. We'll drive on there, guys, and the Cannabis Conspiracy. What's going on? Go easy there with all of those comments coming in. Give others a chance. Take a breath between your comments. But nice one for interacting with the show anyway. The Cannabis Conspiracy asking anybody in New York State, so y'all in New York State can legally consume according to the state laws, not just by eating, but even by smoking anywhere you can smoke tobacco. That's right. That is right. That would be so sweet if it was here too. Equal treatment. That's all we're asking for. We're just asking for to be treated equally. You know what I mean? That's it. Nice one, D Canos. Sorry, I just got a bit worried when I seen all of the comments flying in. But now that I'm looking at them, some of them were just like emojis and shit like that. So my bad. You're all good. Whew. Excuse me, guys. Green Tea says, be careful, there's none of those make Ireland Catholic again right wingers. They might suck you in holy water. Yeah, I'd probably catch on fire if they sprinkle some holy water on me. Big sinner. Right, we're going to blaze this on up, guys, because it's sitting here and it's calling me names. It's like, hey, you're a pussy. What are you not smoking me for? Right, guys, civil disobedience as always, and we'll get back to the news. Address Green Tease message. Is there a message? Oh yeah, definitely with the right wingers and all of that stuff. Yeah, man. Yeah. You've seen it. Yeah, sorry. I just seen your comment coming in a bit later. We are not criminals. Not for this, anyway. It's my human right to be able to consume what I believe is beneficial for me. And government should have no right to tell me I can't do this very act right here. Like, how in the name of God is it in the interest of the society for a state to waste hundreds of millions every year to try to prevent what you just witnessed there? Just a consenting, educated adult consuming a product they believe to be beneficial for them. That's pretty much what you just witnessed, as well as a civil disobedience protest. But how is it in the interest of the public for our government to be spending our taxpayers' money? We've a right to be able to have a say in what our taxpayers' money is used for. And unfortunately, it's not being used to represent our wishes. At least that's my experience on the streets of Cork anyway. The general public who I've engaged with as up to date, 90% of them, thumbs up. They're like, keep going, man, you're doing the right thing. So, yeah. The Cannabis Conspiracy, I would be pissed as if they got any holy water on my butt. Yeah, for that matter, if anybody dumped any water on my buds. Unless they were extra dry, a little misting. Holy Grail Kush. Green Tea says, I always fantasize about meeting those guys and saying, no thank you, I like eating pussy too much. Yummy. But well said, Green Tea. Yeah, I love having interactions with some of those people as well. Not the most extremist of them, to be fair, not those kind of guys, but I love talking to the Jehovah's Witnesses, the born again Christians and stuff like that. I just love having conversations about one's beliefs and differences in one's beliefs too, in a respectful, polite manner as well. I might add. But some of those really right wing guys, they're like, "Fucking, you're an abomination. You're going to burn in the entire eternal fires of hell." Talking to a poor chap on Reddit being dragged to court for cannabis possession who uses for epilepsy, sale or supply charge. Feck, man. If I can help there in any way at all, Electric Sense, let me know. But I'd imagine you probably have been maybe down that road as well yourself before, so you might have some experience. But look, if I can help in any way, let me know. If that individual wants to, go public on their case, speak out about it, by all means, I would more than be happy to afford them the opportunity to do so through the Martin's World platform. By all means, it's there for anybody else who is out there suffering because of this prohibition. Get in touch if you want to have share a few words. I'd be more than happy to have you on. Mark Andrew Morgan, what would they feel about holy water in the bong? Holy smokes. That'd be crazy. Green Tea says, message Elaine Byrne, the journalist I contacted. That's right, Elaine Byrne works with the Business Post, also out there as well, guys, and I hope she doesn't mind me saying, but there's a journalist over on the Irish Independent, Liz Evans, I believe is her surname. But yeah, she's another journalist with the Irish Examiner. She's been more than accommodating to myself with some of my protests and actions over the last few months. And I'm sure, again, like that individual's case there that Electric Sense brought up, I'm sure she'd be more than happy as well to highlight those cases. Just looking at her name there now, just in case anybody wants to look her up. She's contactable by Twitter. Yeah, shit, I don't have her there, but yeah, you look up some of my articles there on the Irish Examiner, and you'll find her name on that. Yeah, Green Tea says, if you want her email, I gave it to Martin. She is writing a lot about cannabis injustice. Nice, that's good to hear. I seen actually she had an article up there earlier again about cannabis, but it was more about the Food Safety Authority Ireland. But yeah, she's still being active there anyway, at least reporting on it. So we drive on, and yeah. This was a recent seizure that was made down here in Cork after the Gardai pulled over a bus. This was a public bus, and they pulled it over. Excuse me. They were acting off of an intelligence-led operation, as part of Operation Tara as well. And this was targeting, apparently, maybe people coming from the Waterford direction into Cork and dealing here in Cork. And funny enough, actually, I was talking to somebody there in the city yesterday, and he was on about like the biker gangs having things sewn up down around the Waterford area or something like that. But here you've a dude fucking taking the bus, like, it's like maybe he's a member of the biker gang, but he left the bike at home. But yeah, this individual anyway, a man in his 30s, I was two men actually, both in their 30s, were arrested at the scene, and they were taken to the Mallow or to Middleton Garda station. The cannabis that was seized at the scene was valued at €35,000. And then there was a follow-up search back at the house of the individuals, I'd imagine, back in Waterford, where there was another €7,500 worth of cannabis seized. And all of the drugs now are going to be sent for analysis to Forensic Science Ireland. So, yeah, and the guys are going to be brought up to court and then as well, obviously. So again, here you have it. Like, there's just over 2 kilos of cannabis after being seized. We've just talked about the cases out there, people using it illegally still for epilepsy. That's still going on out there. How much of this cannabis was destined for a patient? Is it possible that whoever was transporting this, they were bringing her up to somebody who was going to turn it into oil in the city? No, maybe unlikely. It's probably going to be coming up and to be distributed in 50 bags and what have you. But again, that's not to say that none of those 50 bags, this just highlights the need to change these laws. There's an incredible demand out there for this product. It's been sold by organised crime gangs. We don't know the source of this. We don't know the quality of this. And that's what needs to change. So that we can put in place proper regulations, proper protections, so things like this can happen, let's say, in a proper sense. No, I don't support this news, this recall. But this is how regulations work. There's quality standards put in place, and if something doesn't meet that standard, the authorities, in this case the Food Safety Authority Ireland, can issue a recall and have it taken off the market. Now, in this case, what they're saying is there's unsafe levels of THC found in these products. it doesn't indicate how much THC was actually found in them, but according to the Food Safety Authority of Ireland, there's like no real safe level of THC to be consumed by adults. So that's according to the Food Safety Authority Ireland. You can check that live stream I did there one morning, about 3 or 4 months ago. It's still up there on YouTube anyway if you want to watch that. But according to them, there's no safe level of THC in any products. And these 3 products up on screen here are as part of the most recent recall. And also they're saying that these foods are novel foods. So they're unauthorized novel foods as well. So for that reason, they're not supposed to be on the market either. Again, all this is going to do is going to direct people who are getting these products maybe to alternative sources having to change up. I know there's people out there using some of this Greenway products, also the hemp company's product. I actually have the hemp company's products downstairs. I've used their CBD oil, and it's quite good. It's a fine oil in fairness. And yeah, like where do you go then if you're relying on this now all along and it's been beneficial? Where do you go from there? As I say, like the Food Safety Authority Ireland, they don't even want these products on the market. They don't want you using this stuff. It's kind of a part of what I was talking about there in the city the other day about this. That they don't really want you to be using this plant at all, really, because it's too good for you. So this is the Food Safety Authority Ireland anyway. They issued a recall. These products are now going to be removed from the market, and people who are selling them are going to be required to have a notice at the point of sale, so that anybody who bought them can return them to the store. A spokesperson for the Food Safety Authority Ireland had this to say. They said food businesses that have sold the implicated batches of unauthorised novel CBD food supplements to consumers must display a point of sale notice in store and on a website, if sold online, to inform customers that the implicated batches of these unauthorised novel CBD food supplements are being recalled and the reason why. So that's all they really had to say on that matter. But interestingly, keeping in line with the Food Safety Authority Ireland, there's been a CBD store after being shut down here in Ireland recently. This was an order of closure issued against Hempture and Hempland, run by, and they've named the individual. I won't go and name the individual here, but it says here Hempture and Hempland and all of its activities of the food business, its establishments, holdings, or other premises, and the internet sites and social media sites operated by food businesses be ceased for the purpose of placing food on the market. And then they quote the articles there. Excuse me, guys. But in this instance, this individual is not actually complied with the issue, the closure. I'll actually pop up on screen there now. Like, you can go over onto their website right now, and all of their products are up there. There's the button. Boom. So this is Hempland. This is one of their products, like, online store. You can still go over there, and you can still buy stuff at the moment. There's it's still way operating. So, and also Hempture is still operating, at least it was there earlier today. Hempture. Yep, 30% off your next order, and there's all the products still up there. So they're still operating away, and they're still selling. Like, they even have CBD flowers up there. You can add it to cart there, stick in an order, get 30% off apparently. But yeah, there you go. Like, but this is the FSAI. They're issuing the closure order there on this business. I don't know why. Is it because they haven't issued this against any other CBD businesses? I don't know what the story is now. Again, I suppose as I'm in the scene for quite a while, I've heard things, and not things I would be proud of, about Hempture, and some of the stuff that they've been doing over the years, getting people to come in and harvest cannabis and charge them for the privilege of doing so. And giving them like certificates and things. Look, I won't really say any more. Like, but I just thought there was some funny business practices going on there. And maybe it's to do more with that, rather than the anything to do with the CBD side of it, because like Relief, Little Collins, like Nurture by Nature, Funky Skunk, none of them have been issued with closure notices. This guys have, so that's interesting to see. So this guy's going to be brought to court anyway, once they can catch up with him. He hasn't responded to the FSAI, so there's no, I don't know, there's probably going to be cops looking for him. But yeah, funny one, alright. For Gray says it's going to drive up the cost of CBD, etc., with all the red tape. Well, it's already done it. I was even talking about that the other day when I was in the city, doing my little civil disobedience thing. You know, when it comes to hemp oil, like you look at a liter of sunflower oil, you can buy a liter of sunflower oil for cheap as chips, like, you know, super cheap, a liter of it. You look at hemp seed oil and you get like 500 milliliters of the stuff, and it's like fucking €15 or something like that within Holland and Barrett. It can be quite expensive. And why is that? Because the farmers aren't growing it as much. Why aren't they growing it as much? Because, you know, the prohibition that lies around it. But you compare sunflower oil to hemp seed oil, and there is a huge difference. Like sunflower oil and some of the other oils there are associated with inflammation in the body, causing inflammation. Hemp seed oil does the opposite. Hemp seed oil has a proper balance of omega-3s and omega-6s as well. And as well as being the seed itself, eaten in its whole form, are the hearts. They're a complete source of amino acids, a complete source of protein. They have all of the essential amino acids, all of the amino acids that you cannot produce within your body. They have some level of all of them. So, you know, get those hemp seeds into you, boys. But again, you know, you compare that like against other grains out there. Hemp seeds, you know, it's about €3 or €4 for like 250 grams of them. But meanwhile, you know, you get kilos of other seeds for near the price of that, like, you know. But yeah, we should be having cannabis grown everywhere. These laws around our farmers growing are absolutely ridiculous. And it's only making it more expensive for the people out there buying these products. Then you're spot on. Green Tea says, I feel like the government is clearing all of the small Irish businesses out of it so they can hand it to big pharma. Possibly, yeah, possibly. There definitely seems to be a desire there to keep cannabis illegal anyway. But meanwhile, you see what's going on all over the world. Like even on, like, there's companies now making millions on the stock market. Some of these companies are actually existing within Ireland, and they're making the money because of cannabis. It's a story I actually excluded, like, but there's one company, MGC Pharmaceuticals, who are going to be delivering the canny pill. That their share price has gone up by over 50% in the last couple of months, you know, all because of the authorization of their drug to be used, you know, for, refractory epilepsy. 50%, that's a nice little jump in the share price. But meanwhile, you know, as Electric Sense pointed out, epilepsy sufferers have been brought to prison for possessing the same plant, or being brought to court anyway, at least, for the very same plant, for on sale and supply charges too. That's messed up. It really is backwards. So again, guys, don't forget, tomorrow 2 o'clock, Dublin. Be there. Stand up, because this is not going to change without a strong movement from us as a community, you know. And we drive on, guys, from the FSAI, and we go back to the courts, and our buddy Judge Sean Donovan is at it again. Yes, he is. A Polish man has been jailed for 3 years for his attempts on a flying visit to Cork to sell €21,000 worth of cannabis. So this Polish man was caught trying to fly into the... Sorry, yeah, there it is. Fly into Cork with just over a kilo of cannabis. Judge Sean O'Donovan says there was a level of planning that he had organised for a slán a na hÉireann 3 days after distribution of the drugs, so by Ireland. He was doing it only for financial gain. Now he has been jailed for 3 years, and Detective Garda Patrick O'Sullivan said the delivery was made in a joint operation by officers from Customs and Excise and the Gardai. Says customs officers initially discovered a package in the post and alerted Gardai. A package of cannabis containing over 21,000 worth of the drug was to be delivered to a house in Panduff in a controlled delivery by the Gardai and customs officers. It says shortly after the delivery was made, the defendant was stopped driving away from the scene, and he had the package of cannabis with him. Judge Sean O'Donovan said this fella thought he could get rid of €20,000 worth of cannabis in 3 or 4 days, and you are not going to Vladivostok today anyway. So that's back to Poland, I'd imagine. And I suppose that's just alluding to the fact that Judge Sean O'Donovan or other judges out there have actually just sent individuals guilty of the same kind of crime here, being caught with cannabis, being caught growing cannabis, just sending them on back to home. It's like, yeah, we're getting 10 years in prison, but look, fly back home there tomorrow and you don't have to serve none of it. Just don't come back to Ireland for 20 years or something, and it's kind of backwards. The defence barrister Brian Lee said the accused man Janis, who's 37 years old, that he admitted being in possession of the cannabis and having the drug for the purpose of sale or supply on July 7th last year at a house in Lewis Namila, Bandoff, Cork. He said he could have run away. He is not. He could have blamed someone else, but he blamed himself. Judge Sean O'Donovan said it was an unusual case. The 37-year-old used his mobility and organisational skills to set up a scheme. He got the drugs in Poland. He imported them into Ireland for distribution here. He was the originator and in control of the business throughout, and there was a level of planning to the scheme. So that's the article as it reads there. That article was over on, I don't know, was it the Cork BO or something like that? But yeah, 3 years in prison. Compare that to some of the cases there, the guy with the woman down in West Cork the other day, where he was holding her face down on the mattress trying to suffocate her after submitting her to a 3-hour beating. The dude beat his wife, like tore lumps of hair out of her and everything, and the guy like pretty much got to walk away. I think they had him on in custody for a year. He served a year maybe in prison, and then they left him off. Like 3 hours, he tried to kill his wife. This guy's got 21 grand's worth of cannabis, like, and he's getting 3 years for it. It's so backwards. It makes no sense. Like, the people who bring cannabis, whatever amount of it, like, they're getting more a harder sentence than somebody who might actually commit grievous bodily harm against another individual and even attempt to kill him. Well done, Judge Sean O'Donovan. We drive on from there, and other news out there in Ireland. There was 2 teenage men, two men in their late teens, so I'd imagine 19, got caught with €119,000 worth of cocaine and cannabis, and this was coming out of Galway yesterday evening. And the seizure was made again, it says, as part of Operation Tara, and says that they searched multiple locations on the east side of Galway overnight, and during the course of their searches they found €36,500 worth of suspected cocaine and €80,600 worth of suspected cannabis and €2,100 in cash. 2 men, both in their late teens, were arrested at separate locations in connection to the seizures. They were detained at the Garda station in connection with the incident, and they've been charged now. The 2 men will now appear before a sitting of the Galway District Court, and I'm not too sure what's after happening there. Obviously, it's after being just put off to another date. The guys are probably out in bail now and all of that kind of carry on. Probably getting a baiting there now for losing the drugs and cash. But in fairness, like, 2 teens, 18, 19 possibly, that they've all of that. So they got over 4 kilos of weed in them. I'm not too sure how much coke they'd actually have in them. But think of the amount of trouble that they're going to be in now if they're going to have to pay for that afterwards. Some mother is going to have her door getting kicked in because her son fucking lost the local organised crime gangs fucking, 80 grand's worth of product there, or 120 grand's worth of product. Like, again, the 4 kilos, the young fellas, if they were buying it off them, maybe they were getting a good deal. Maybe they were getting it for like $5 a key. Is that too good a deal? Probably about $7 a key maybe. So you're getting 4 of them, so they are about 28 grand there possibly for those 4 kilos. Don't know what the coke is worth, but there you go, like 28 grand on 2 young fellas' heads there now, and they're going to be left back out. adding to the suspicions if there was to be follow-up or raids in connection with that, if the cops were to get information out of these guys' phones, and now these guys are left out of the station, it's going to be accusations probably made, hey, you snitched, and next we're going to be dealing with a body found in a laneway in Galway City. And that's the reality of the prohibition of drugs. Yeah, that is the reality, and it needn't be the case. You look across the pond there to America, it's all organised, it's all civil. You walk in, you buy your cannabis, there's a regulated kind of transaction goes on. The state are generating taxes, the taxes go back to improving the community, yes, and that's the way it goes. And young people are protected because why? Regulations work. And I'm not speaking out my ass on this one this time, because that's the next headline. There was a new study that was published there recently in the what university was it? The University of University of Waterloo. It says they found that the amount of advertising and promotion provided on packages changes how people see the product. Speaking towards cannabis products, and whether they think it's fun to use and are interested in trying it or believing it's harmful. They're quoted here in saying that for a child who's entering the market and trying to figure out if cannabis is a product their friends would think is cool, and that they would that they can project an image with, that's exactly what brand imagery and promotion does, especially on packaging. And that comes from the professor there at Waterloo School of Public Health Science, David Hammond. He said, so if states or countries are interested in protecting youth, our data suggests that packaging restrictions and comprehensive health warnings are effective ways of doing that. And that's what we do with tobacco anyway, isn't that? Like, I'm not saying stick any horrible images on the packages like we do with the tobacco, like. But like, yeah, we put little messages on there, like, little educational things, like, and that's the way to go. Plain packaging too. This is the conversation we've been having with tobacco too, showing how regulations work. Have we not been talking so much over the last year about the problem caused by the unfettered access there is to cannabis edibles for young people in Ireland, and how attractive they are? Stoner patch dolls, oh my god, I want to try them. Like, yeah, that sounds cool. Like, get him on Instagram there off one of the boys, and he'll meet you there down under the bridge, like, simple. You don't even need ID, but and he'll give it you on tick. And if you get more off him, he'll let you sell him and all if you want. Just don't get caught with him or you might break your legs. It goes on to say anyway, the more imagery legislators allow, the more appealing these cannabis products will be to the public, especially to young children. It says it's up to governments to figure out where to draw the lines. To determine the effectiveness of restrictive brand imagery and information from governments in the form of health warnings and how cannabis products are perceived, the team of researchers gathered input from almost 46,000 randomized participants in Canada and the United States. The participants were presented with 4 branding conditions ranging from no brand imagery and uniform colours to full brand imagery. They were also asked to assess how the product's appeal differed based on perceived harm and how easy it is to remember warning messages which addressed pregnancy, adolescent risk and impaired driving. It says the researchers found that reducing the amount of brand imagery modestly decreased product appeal. Additionally, products were rated significantly less harmful when they had a white background with no or limited branding than a coloured background, and message recall was substantially higher for Canadians versus the US health warnings. And that's because, again, I think I've done a piece on that there in the past, highlighting the different warnings in the US and Canada on some of these products and packagings. And Canada's are quite comprehensive, I believe, because obviously there's more kind of federal legalization of it there, or national legalization of it there. Excuse me. It says Canada's warning messages on cannabis products are more salient and easier to understand than in the US. And our findings suggest that Canada's comprehensive regulations appear to be achieving their goal, which is to inform consumers about the risks and reducing the appeal, including among young people. And the study, titled "The Influence of Package Colour, Branding and Health Warning on Appeal and Perceived Harm of Cannabis Products Among Respondents in Canada and the US," was published in the Journal of Preventative Medicine. And that's what I like to use cannabis as a prophylactic. Let's see if I can get that study up there on screen. Where is it? I know I have it there. There we go. Pop it up on screen there just so you can see the study itself. But there you go. If you want to pop that into Google, if you want to go have a read off it yourself, belt away by all means. But I pretty much hit the core of it there anyway within that article. So again, you know, to the fairmongers out there, to the Mary Cannons, to the Bobby Smiths, like this is completely counter to any argument you might make about the prospects of legalization. If we were to legalize and regulate cannabis access, this is what we can do. We can put proper controls in place and protect young people, educate consumers, reduce the harms. Like we all know, like it's no secret that the young people out there, that cannabis is much more alluring to them because of its illegal nature. Come on, like you can't deny that. The fact that cannabis is illegal and it's like, oh, it's this thing, you know, it's like taboo and all that kind of stuff. It makes it more appealing to the rebellious young mind, and not only more appealing but more accessible to. Like alcohol, you know, it's just like, oh yeah, well, I've been at the pub, my dad is annoying when he's drunk, or you know, my aunt is pure annoying when she's drunk or something. I'm never going to, like, you get experience to it, like. But as a young person, a lot of the times you're not really exposed to that. So your first exposure to it is from your peers then, which is quite dangerous when it's peer education at a young age, and you're, you know, yeah, we all know where that can go. Guys, nice one for all your comments flying in there as well. Green Tea saying, the only time we will see legalization as well, the multinationals want it, and that'll happen when America legalize it federally or we vote left. Green Tea, I think we'll see legalization here is when the people unite on it. Like Saturday, tomorrow, we have a great opportunity now, and we can go all up there. And we're going to have cannabis legal for the time being. Like, we're going to treat it as if it is. Like that's the aim of the day. It's going to be a civil disobedience protest. Once we get to the Doyle, guys, bring your own cannabis. Like, be ready, roll one up. And that goes without having to be said, but I'm going to say it now explicitly. Don't come looking to buy cannabis at this event or this protest tomorrow. Bring your own cannabis. Be ready. Even if you can't get cannabis, get out there and get some CBD from the local CBD suppliers. I'm sure Ferg is out there. I don't think he's going to make it up, but I'm sure there's others out there who might be around on Saturday who might be able to hook you up with some CBD if you can't get some. But it's important that we all engage in civil disobedience of it and challenge the law. It's the only way we're going to get some. That's the real way we're going to get change. Otherwise, yeah, you're right, Green Tea. If people don't get up off their ass, then it will be the multinationals who pull the strings, and then it's never really going to be in our favour. It'll be a long time before you'll be able to grow some cannabis for yourself here in Ireland if we sit in our ass and do nothing. Other comments. That fella was a convicted murderer. Yeah, that's right, actually. Yeah, that guy who I was talking about there earlier with Judge Sean O'Donnell, he was a convicted murderer as well. Yeah, that's right. As well as a woman bather. Fucking scumbag. And he's out free now. Russ Stokes makes me think about all the corrupt judges. So, they make no sense, alright. Gentlemen's club, the boys' club. That's all they are. Appointed there by their buddies. Messed up, like. Green Tea, they could be in tax-paying jobs, those poor young fellas. Yeah, they definitely could be. They could be doing a lot better for themselves, unfortunately, you know, because of the silly prohibition. They're criminals now. DB Woodcraft. Martin, could you turn up the volume, please? Yeah, not a bother at all, DB. Apologies. There we go. Hopefully that's a bit better there now for you guys. Hopefully it's not too loud for other people now. But apologies if the volume was a bit off there. Didn't realise. Hidden Gardener, what's going on? And Uni Musical. Martin, are you coming up tomorrow? Just to know. Oh, I am indeed. I'm actually listed as a speaker tomorrow alongside Tom Curran and Mark Jenkins of Relief. So yeah, I'll be there tomorrow, but for sure. As we drive on, we leave Ireland and we go to some better news that is out there, and that is that Uruguay, who was the first country in the world, I suppose, really to legalise access to cannabis, they now want to open up the market to tourists. Happy days, well done Uruguay, good move. Uruguay down in South America, they legalised cannabis access a good few years ago. Wasn't it how long ago now was it that they actually legalized cannabis? Doesn't say there in the article. I should have bloody noticed myself, like, but it's illegal there for quite some time now. In fairness, they were able to buy cannabis over there for as little as like was it $1 for a gram of it? So you were getting your ounce for $28 or something like that over there. Maybe local currency as well. But it was super cheap anyway, in fairness. But there was criticisms at the time that the cannabis wasn't really good. But hopefully, maybe that the fact now that they're opening it up to the tourist market, maybe the quality has improved, their ability to produce it has improved. Down there currently, you're allowed to grow your own cannabis at home. You can go out and buy it. You're only allowed though, which isn't weird, buy up to 40 grams of cannabis a month. It says, which is incredibly restrictive. In fairness, which it made no sense to me if it was legalized that they still have these restrictions. It says Uruguayan law allows adult citizens and foreign residents who join a government registry to grow their own cannabis to join a cannabis club or to buy 40 grams a month at authorized pharmacies. So maybe the 40 grams of cannabis a month is just the kind of the government one, and then you can join a cannabis club where you get the proper cannabis locally grown, produced in maybe whatever the rules are there on their club model over there. But yeah, they expect that it's going to be a big boost for their economy over there. They're saying that the cannabis exports have more than doubled to since 2020, but it's still a far cry from the hundreds of millions of dollars that the participants have predicted. But maybe potentially the COVID and all of that stuff is posing a problem. But also you've competing nations out there as well. Colombia is a big one out there as well, pushing to be a big player within the global cannabis market, especially the industrial and the medicinal. So obviously there's some factors there that are keeping the prices down now, which is I don't know, a good or a bad thing, but it's interesting to see. But yeah, well done Uruguay. Maybe it's a destination we might travel and go on an old holiday down there sometime. Sorry, pictured there on the screen as well is the old Presidente of Uruguay, Luis Lacalle Pou. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it anyway. So well done Uruguay, happy days, good stuff, nice moves, showing the rest of the world up. Then we go from Uruguay, guys, for the final headline of the day. We're going down under. We're going to Australia for a cannabis grower who escaped from prison 29 years ago. And he handed himself back into Australian authorities recently. And why did he do so? Because he lost his job. And because of COVID. The COVID restrictions led to the employment to which... this is an individual, his name eluding me right now. Sorry, I'm just trying to find his name there now. Donny. There we go. Yeah, that's the one. It is Darko Desic. Darko Desic. He escaped out of the prison 29 years ago after grinding his way out through the prison bars. It says he went away and he kind of lived on the run, I suppose, then for the 29 years. But his crime was growing cannabis. He got 3.5 years for it, and after serving 13 months in prison, he managed to escape. So fair play to him. Over the COVID restrictions, he lost his job. And it goes to tell you like how bad things must be in Australia if it's better to be in prison than to be out without a job out over there. Bit of a funny one, really. One second, got me drink. It says that he lived as a local handyman in a posh beachside suburb of Avalon. And after the work dried up, he handed himself back into the local authorities. It's unsure now what's going to happen to him. Like, will he get a longer prison sentence because of that? He was 29 when it happened. When he got locked. Or sorry, no, he wasn't 29. He's 64 now. It happened back in 92. So what's that? What age would that have put him at? Like 30, 30? 30, 28? I don't know. Yeah, he would have been that age anyway. But he's 60, in his 60s now. Like, are they going to lock him up? Who knows? But there's been a GoFundMe launched for him, and the GoFundMe aims to raise 30,000 to hire a legal team to aid him in his battle to argue against it. And I hope they achieve that. I believe they've raised almost 15,000 now already. So they're halfway there. So fair play to the community who are getting behind Donnie over there. But it's a funny one. Like, in fairness, like guy escapes from prison 29 years ago and then goes and hands himself back in. Yeah, I see that actually DB Woodcraft actually is bringing up there. Outlaw got busted too. Outlaw spent 24 hours in a cell and said he was trying to post a video footage but had issues. Might be on YouTube later. Yeah, that's right. I was looking on YouTube before I went live to see if it was up there. And he still hadn't posted the footage. I don't think he has yet either. I might have a quick look over there to see if he has. But yeah, I just thought that final one was an hilarious one. Guy escaped from prison 29 years ago, and hands himself back in over the bloody COVID restrictions over there. Like, Australia, man, has gone mental at the moment. Outlaw, there we go. Has he got anything up there? Videos? No, his last video was uploaded 3 months ago. So no, there's nothing up there at the moment on Outlaw's YouTube. Unfortunately, I was hoping that there might have been, but no, he still hasn't anything up there. But yeah, he did have a post up there a while ago about it. I'll pop up his Instagram post there now. So there you go. That was the post that was up there by Outlaw. In fairness, like, credit to whoever got the photo. What's going on here? Like, he's in the back of the van. Was he driving around in the back of the van? Like, what kind of gangster is this dude? Like, what's he actually playing at? Like, he's got like a fucking whole DJ thing inside of there and everything. If you look down in front of him and his feet, like what was he at? Like, I'd love to know. Like, I really want to speak with this dude. I'd love to have him on the podcast to have a chat with him. Here's a picture of a bag with what looks like black Mylar packs inside, and if I know my logos, I think that's a Cookies logo. Cookies being a kind of a cannabis brand, well-known cannabis brand out there. But yeah, I'd love to have a chat with this dude, pick his brain, see what's actually going on. You can do it and all behind the mask, feck it, like, but I'm gonna have to ask, like, why the mask? Like, why the need to hide your face? I get it, like, you know, you don't want to be targeted as such, like, but it's a weird approach, like, you know. But I get it. I get it at the same time, in a certain sense. But I'd love to hear it from himself, like, what the crack is with it. You don't hear much from the guy, you know. He's all about his photos and shit like that. Like, you know, he hasn't got any interviews of anybody that I know of yet. See him, he's like a music producer or something like that. He claims to be there in Manchester. I'd love to know who the feck he is and what the crack is there. Like, the UK Robin Hood of cannabis is posting out a free thing. Well, a lot of his cannabis is gone now. We'll see how he rebounds from this. So that's pretty much it anyway, guys. That is today's 420 news. Hope everybody's enjoyed that, and happy 420 there, guys. It's exactly 420 now over in the Azores and other places too. Where else is it? It's 420 in Accra, Bamako, Dakar, and the Azores Islands. So happy 420, guys. Just exactly just about an hour there to get all of the headlines and all of the little bit of banter there into that. I'm going to see if I can get in touch with this Australian dude as well. I'd say he's a bit of a character. But yeah, that's it. How's everybody doing out there? Oh, actually, guys, there was one headline that I realised wasn't included in the lineup there, and this is a case where a courier was stopped in the Midlands, and this is on the 18th of August this year, and he has pleaded guilty to possession of cannabis. He got caught with €20 worth of cannabis, and the search took place because of the smell of cannabis coming from the Mercedes van which he was driving. This guy was probably working at the time, and he's appeared before the courts, and he got a €300 fine. That was it. No, sorry, a donation to the charity box. €300 donation to the charity box. That's what he got, and that was it. What a fucking joke, like. To even bring the man to court for in the first place over €20 worth of cannabis. This story, I came across it over on the Offaly Express. You can head over there and check that one out if you want. But really, it's messed up. Like €20 worth of cannabis, and they're willing to ruin this man's life. That's the article there where that came from. Courier stopped in Midlands, caught with cannabis. But again, like, you compare that to how they treat other people. I got caught with less than €5 worth of cannabis, and they put me off the road for the year. And this guy got caught with €20 worth of cannabis, and it's like, yeah, 300 quid there, look, and you can 300 quid to the donation to the charity box, and you can walk away scot-free. Like, that guy was probably breaking it going in. He's like, oh no, I'm going to lose my license, I'm going to lose my job, and I'm going to probably lose my house if he's like fucking living and got a mortgage and shit like that. Like, imagine the stress, the thing. Imagine if he's a man who has a mortgage but also has a life assurance attached to that mortgage. Like, suicide is actually allowed. Like, if you commit suicide and you've got life assurance and you got a mortgage, like, they'll clear your mortgage attached to that. And in most cases, I don't believe that it's ruled out. But that's a thought that could cross a man's head if that's the situation he's, because if a man can't work and if a man can't put a roof over his family's head, that's fucking tough. Like, I'm speaking a bit from experience there. That's an awful position to be put in. Like, everybody wants to be able to provide for their family. Everybody wants to be able to do well in life. Nobody wants to be held back because of being a criminal over a herb you consume. Like, imagine, like, over smoking fags. It's like, no, you can't have a job. These places won't hire you because you smoke fags. It's messed up. Like, it's pure discrimination. That's all there is. John Regan says, just got an amazing idea. One that RT and Worldwide TV would want to cover. A nude protest march. Why else would they bother unless it makes a visual impact? Then cameras won't show up. And all we need is the theme song to the Full Monty. I seriously think that wacky is the way to go. John, if you want to organise it, I'll certainly consider coming and supporting. Mad bastard, John. Anthony Mooney says, can't wait for tomorrow, lads. Tease there. Yes, tomorrow should be a good one, guys. I hope to see many of you there as well. I hope to see lots and lots of people there, guys. Get just come, lots of cool banners, nice and colourful. Get your slogan on there. We're all going to march together and be ready to engage in a little bit of civil disobedience. Boom. So, just going to pack up another bowl, guys. Get your comments in there, guys. What's happening with people? What's going on for the weekend? Whoopsies. Oops. Just dropped my phone. What's happening with people for the weekend? Anything going down outside of the protest? Anybody got news of their own out there to share? Guess a look. Let's see if the phone is on and powered up. Guess a sec. I'm gonna get a charger. All right. No go on that one anyway. Feck it. The phone is dead, and I ain't got a charger nearby to me here now. Oh wait, do I? Actually, I do. There's one on the back of my little speaker. John Regan also getting in there. Or we could dress as Vikings and send out a press release saying we were going to invade Ireland and set up our own government. John, I think you're on a bit of the wacky backy, are you, boy? uh, Hidden Gardener says, good idea, John. Who else remembers Techno Vikings? Hidden Gardener says you can invade Ireland with peace. Electric Sense says, even though you get a donation to the charity box, your name is still tarnished on the newspaper for all to see. Employers can just Google search it set times. That's so true. That's so true. And a time when most companies out there are using these freaking what are they called? Recruitment agencies. Where they basically these guys will scour the internet. They'll search everything on you. They'll find your social media if they have one, and they'll go through everything about you. And if you tick any boxes that they don't like, then it's just like, no, sorry, next. And if you're outspoken on cannabis issues, then that's certainly something that could potentially get you red flagged by some of these companies out there. Flynn Fitzgerald says, please, no naked shenanigans. John, keep it in your pants, buddy. Right, we get some more of this scissor hash packed up here. A is asking, any sign of a Galway protest being organised? No, it seems like the fucking west of Ireland seems to be, just not really wanting to do anything. I suppose it seems, we had the west actually Kerry represented. Kerry, go on, Kerry. But they're more the southwest, aren't they? But no, unfortunately, and I was really hoping that maybe Little Collins might have gotten bored and organised a little kind of a thing above there in Galway, but unfortunately, no, and there was nobody else who kind of stepped up to the plate either. And as I said, it's kind of not my place to be organising protests in other towns, not just yet anyway. We might do a tour at some stage, but not just yet. We went down to Dungarvan mainly to support, the injustice that was served down there on relief. And we'll go other places that it's required too. And should Little Collins require it above there, we'll be fucking straight to their side and give them support too. Because the prohibition of cannabis that affects us affects them too. Flynn Fitzgerald says, we're mixing up the route this time. Hopefully that helps raise awareness. Sweet, yeah, that's using a route that hopefully will help raise awareness. That's right. As I said, there was a good discussion had there on the route that's going to be taken for the protest, and the route that was chosen as a route that was going to maximise exposure, but I suppose also avoid the yellow vest too. Boom. So there we go. If the a phone is on, so I'll pop the number up, guys. If anybody wants to give a call, anybody wants to express any words of wisdom over the airwaves, the Martin's World hotline is open. Oh, somebody's ringing already. Let's get you hooked up to the Bluetooth, though. Bear with me 1 sec. I get you on the Bluetooth. There we go. Have we got you?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can indeed. Who have we got? Welcome to Martin's World.
No, I'm not going to tell you who I am. I'm just going to, just highlight the fact that radio stations around this country are a joke. Because I tried a couple of times today and yesterday and the day before to bring awareness to this protest tomorrow, and not one of them. Now, I went for local radio stations, any segue I could get in. There was actually somebody talking yesterday about CBD oil, and I actually thought, grand opportunity here. So went straight in with a text. Any chance you could mention this? Great bloody interview, blah, blah, blah. Any chance you could mention this protest tomorrow? It's CBD autism, a lot of hashtags I gave as well. No response. A few national radios as well, like the bigger ones like Today FM or whatever. No response. I've been doing it for a couple of days, and I've done it a couple of times last week as well. Like, just a bit of a joke, that's all. I'm highlighting that.
Yeah, well, fair play for trying. I was trying myself as well throughout the week. Sent in a few bits and pieces to different radio stations, and yeah, it seems like they didn't really want to engage with the issue this week. For whatever reason, they're kind of hit and miss. Really, sometimes they'll cover it, other times they don't. And it's unfortunate, but we hopefully we'll have. Yeah, go on. Sorry, you were saying. Oh, we lost him. So nice one for that anyway. Yeah, definitely the media out there haven't been following this yet. Hello?
No, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I seem to have lost you. Yeah, I was just saying, as I was saying, yeah, the media weren't engaging with myself either. Even my own protest that I held there Wednesday, I aimed to raise a bit of awareness for Saturday through doing that, and they haven't engaged with me on that either. Except the Irish Examiner. I think Liz is going to be doing an article on it at some stage. But other than that, no other contact from them.
I know it seems to be they'll only talk about it when they have a prescriptive themselves. You know what I mean? And then they want to talk about it then, and they have their set questions and their set manner about their set ways or approach and all that. You know.
Yeah.
I think it's just a bit of a joke, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, don't give up anyway. Keep on pounding them anyway. Even after this Saturday, like we're going to continue. There's going to be another protest for when the bill is put in.
Yeah. Now another thing, I don't know if anyone's aware of Uplift. I know you are, but there's other people out there that should be made aware of Uplift. Sign up for it. You can donate money if you want. You don't have to. You can still partake in surveys and all that kind of stuff. And they have written up a report. I recommend anyone to look it up. Uplift. It's on Twitter. It's on whatever. They have the whole report done. I haven't actually read it fully myself yet, but I believe it from what I've heard. It's supposed to be spot on. Just if anybody or everybody could just even sign up to that, like any opportunity you can get, sign up for, so spread the word and share it.
Yeah. I just put it up on screen there now for people to see it again, just in case they might have missed it the other day.
What they're asking people to do is to in their one of the most recent ones in relation to cannabis, they're asking people to contact would you be willing to contact our TD? If you've never contacted the TD before, don't worry about it. They'll prepare you, so you can, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And fuck it, like, so, I have a lot to lose as a family. I have a job, I have a hobby, and I have 4 kids. One of which is 17. Like they vary from 22, 19, 17, and the youngest is 11. My 17-year-old, I know, smoked cannabis because he was caught, and we figured it out myself and my wife. I think it was lucky that we caught him, not the cops, where he was smoking. It was in the middle of the town with his mates behind the library or somewhere like that. And I don't want him getting arrested for a fucking herb. And, you know, I smoke it myself every now and again. I actually, when that happened, I said, don't ever go buying weed again, or if anybody is. If you want weed, come to me. I'll get you some weed or whatever, or CBD herb or whatever, and and that's what we did. I got some. We went for a smoke. We had a chat, and things are all good. I don't think he's smoked it since, but like I obviously can't be there with him 24/7. You know, I mean, I'm assuming we trust him, we love him, we love them all, we trust them all. But I can only hope that he's, you know, telling me the truth, that he's not smoking it now, or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that seems like a positive. It seems like a positive.
As a parent and a smoker.
Yeah, well, that seems like a positive outcome for yourself and your son there. And as you said quite rightly, because I was about to ask, I was like, was it yourself or the cops that caught him? So thankfully it was you that caught him rather than the cops, and you gave him a bit of education, advice, and hopefully, as you said, he takes it on board. That's all you can really do as a parent. Really, is just hope to pass on education and guidance to your kids, and that they take it on board and act accordingly. Then, so fair play to you for doing that. Sounds like you've got a good relationship there, anyway.
Yeah, good enough, like, you know. So.
Yeah, it can be difficult the teenage years. I have a teenage daughter now myself, and it can be a bit touchy at times.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Listen, I won't be there tomorrow. I don't think I'm working. I am working, but you know, unless I go in the niche, that's not going to happen.
That's no bother. Well, thanks for supporting up to now anyway, so it's much appreciated.
Best of luck tomorrow with everything, and hope everything goes smoothly.
Thanks, and same to yourself, and thanks for the call.
No problem. Take it easy.
Good luck.
Bye-bye.
So yeah, it's nice to hear from other parents out there too in relation to their experiences with cannabis and their kids, especially as a parent who uses cannabis, and then to catch your like underage kid, 17. Okay, it's like it's almost the age. And I know myself when I was like 15, 16, like that there was. It wasn't like bad for like, I had to get a sneaky sup of a pint there at the pub or something, and it wasn't really frowned upon or anything like that as such. And in years to come, cannabis use will also be normalised, and a cheeky puff for the kid like maybe might be seen in the same light as that. And I'm talking like a 16, 17-year-old kid, like, in that sense, like. At least it's controlled, and regulated, and there's education there. And it's a cheeky puff. It's not like a whole 50 bag down the alley with his buddies and coming from an unregulated source. Like, see the difference? it's fucking day and night, a major difference. So yeah, that was nice to hear there. Thanks very much, Ian, for that call. An anonymous caller, but for good reasons too. Yes, to protect himself and his family too. But nonetheless, getting out there and being outspoken anyway, fair play. Anthony Mooney, if everyone plants a hemp seed from the local health store, like you did before, we can highlight the absolute insanity of these laws. Yeah, so simple. Guys, if you go in, I'd love to do it on Saturday tomorrow, and just march into the guard station with all of you and just have a little piece of cannabis, or even, as Anthony Mooney says, a hemp seed inside in a pot. That's illegal cultivation of cannabis. They don't care if it's hemp, and they have to do something about it. It would be a funny one. I'd love to see it happen. Flimfin Charles says we emailed over 20 politicians and TDs. Well, I really do hope that there's representation there from the Green Party and from people before profit too. Sinn Féin should really be coming down and supporting this as well, because this is an issue that affects medical cannabis, and that's what we're campaigning also for tomorrow. Patients for Safe Access will be there. And Sinn Féin voted to support medical cannabis at their Ardèche back in 2016. And they still haven't done anything about it, so they really should be coming out now and supporting this, but obviously I don't expect them to, but I hope they would. And not many replies from him. Yeah, no surprise there either. Yeah, and lots of people saying fair play to that caller as well. Sounds like a great way to deal with your kids using cannabis. And Peter Kelly saying well done as well. Yeah, I really enjoyed that little conversation there with with that caller. Seems like a very sensible guy. Bob Marley also getting in a few words there saying, I hear that guy fair play, but I'd be worried about the dirt the scumbags are putting in our weed, but it all goes back to our useless government. Yeah, I'd say the caller there had probably a good source of cannabis, maybe a friend who grows, or possibly maybe just gets a sent in from a good source. And I think that's what he was saying with his kids, you know, don't be fucking buying that in the street now anymore. If you ever going to go get cannabis again, come to me, look, and we'll sort it out and stuff. It seems to be the sensible thing, like, and it's just kind of like the young fella's like, well, look now, as it's not like, you know, it's not even off limits to him now anymore. Like, it seems he can get it through his dad, and it's just like, yeah, no, I'm good, Dad, I'm good. Do you know? Electric Sense saying, Martin, had you many problems trying to find work with a conviction and being outspoken on cannabis? I found it hard to find work, yes. But has my conviction ever been used as a reason for me not to get a job? Unfortunately, no, like it hasn't, but I've never even got like past that initial barrier, like, you know. And having a conviction doesn't help, but also the fact that I don't have industry experience for the places I was looking to go working for. All of the place wanted industry experience, and we didn't get that with our course. I went over to Dijon, stayed within the universities, so unfortunately that came back to bite me on the arse too. But yeah, I would imagine if I was to even get past that first initial inspection anyway, I would imagine the background check then would pose a problem. And being outspoken then also would probably bring its own issues as well. Probably getting a manager coming along and saying, hey, come here, seen that there now on Facebook, like, you're working for us now, you know, we've an image, we have to protect that, you're an employee here now, you're an ambassador of the company. I can imagine that kind of a conversation taking place. No, not going to suppress who I am. Fuck that. Being criminalised for it, like, is bad enough. Right, we have another bowl packed up here in here. Blazing on up. Yeah, kayaking actually does sound unreal right now, actually, to be fair. That would be savage. Yeah, I thought that as well, Flynn, saying there that we haven't found someone willing to advocate up that way yet. It's a shame little Collins haven't. Yeah, that's true. Like, that's their neck of the woods. Like, they could really be making noise over there. Like, and then we've the whole of Ireland involved. Right, I'm gonna blaze this one. What's going on, Irish Empire? Welcome. Ooh, that was nice. So, any other callers, guys? Right, we leave the line open for 5 more minutes, guys, and then I'm going to have to bounce on out of here because we have a meeting with the patients for Safe Access Ireland. Going to have a little chat with them about what's going to be said tomorrow about the protest. any calls to actions that we might have for people for after the protest as well. So I look forward to having a chat there with the lads and ladies after this. Any other comments, guys? Any other things people want to bring up? I ain't got much left myself, to be fair. No other announcements there. Yeah, just looking back through your comments there, guys. See if make sure I don't haven't missed anybody else's comments there in the back. Yeah, so guys, tomorrow 2 o'clock. I hope to see many of you there. Otherwise, there will be other efforts. Hopefully Gino actually puts a date on when that bill is going to be out there, and we'll be back up there then again. He said November. But that means October. We have to get something to occupy October. I hope there's something going on. Anybody know of anything else being organised out there outside of these things? I know our Crown as well are making an announcement tomorrow. That's also interesting news. I'll be paying attention to what's happening over there to see what they have to announce. But the Crown is the Reddit subreddit group, whatever you might call those things. But they've got a nice community over there. I think they have over 25 the legalisation of cannabis in Ireland. So that can't be a bad thing anyway. The more people we have engaged in this, and again, we need a unity on that. I know there has been differences there between people's approaches and stuff like that, but I'm sure we can all work and put our differences aside and focus on the objective and work together on that, even if it's not together and just in support of one another, and not get bogged down and well, I think you should be doing it this and I think you should be doing that. Well, it's like, no, well, look, two of you can do it your own different ways, and it's like we can both support each other without being shitting on one another. Like, just no need for that. Like, the infighting that takes place there within the community, sometimes it's just like, I got fair stick there for some of the stuff that I put up in the past. Like, I wasn't the greatest at poster making, like, but it's like, don't shit my poster, like, it's like the message is what counts, like. What's happening, Toto? All the best tomorrow. Thanks very much. Look forward to it anyway. I'm guessing we won't see you and your beautiful dogs above there. Oh, that's understandable. So right, guys, I will love you and leave you. I'll actually be early for a change to the Patients for Safe Access Ireland meeting. Normally I'm stuck here, well, not stuck here, but I stick around here chatting with yourselves. I lose track of times, but seems like you're all being very quiet out there today, or maybe my stream is just fucking way too slow today. I don't know. Has the stream been alright for you guys? Has the quality been good? Hopefully it's been good anyhow. As I said, I forgot to connect up the Ethernet cable there earlier on before I started, but hopefully it hasn't been a problem. So guys, I'll be back next week. More 420 news on Monday. So until then, guys, have a very good weekend. We'll be back actually live tomorrow. What am I saying? We'll be doing a live stream tomorrow. Keep an eye out for that. When the March starts, I'll hit the live button. We'll try to stream as much of it as possible. Hopefully we get some good quality footage of it. But again, like, hopefully most of you will be there anyway, and you won't be home watching. It'll be only for the people in Australia and elsewhere who can't make it. So alright, guys, have a good weekend. Look forward to seeing many of you tomorrow. Stay blessed, keep it lit. Peace. A nice one, Mustawes. Everybody out there saying it's been dead on hype as well. Have a good one, guys. I'll be seeing you all tomorrow. Flynn, Fitzgerald out there as well. Nice one again, guys, for tuning in.